So you ready for another road trip, 2012?
You what?
Another road trip,
Oh, yeah.
2012. Another road trip for Richard.
Let's go. It's got to be warm in Bismarck.
It's got to be warm, yeah. So, how long have you been in this valley?
Well, I came here in 72.
1972 you were here?
Yeah.
So was that before,
Well, that
before what? Was that before irrigation was developed?
No, but it was before most of the pivots were in.
Before pivots, she said.
No, there was
a
probably
few of
they started coming in 63, 64, started accelerating 68, 69, 70, somewhere along in there. So, you know, there might have been 500 center pivots in the valley.
So you're going to sum up your career, what would you say? Been good?
Oh, yeah. I think so.
1 to scale, 1 to 10.
Oh, I'd give it a 10.
You'd give it a 10?
Yeah, I wouldn't have done it.
You wouldn't redo it?
Not my career,
Not even if you were the chief the second time around?
Oh, no, that would go down to a 7 or 6.
Okay.
I don't see any parts of my career being very negative. But I tend to be kind of a positive person anyway.
You are.
You are. It doesn't.
You're a positive life force.
Probably the most negative part would be
the program job.
that program job.
I was guessing.
And that was just because of the trying to bridge that gap between programs and technical was not working well. Hasn't worked well since. Still not working well.
Yeah.
You know, by bridging I mean rolling the two together.
Right.
You gotta. The conservation plan has to be done technically. You don't have.
So
a mic
what do you think?
on this anyway.
No mic on it.
Yeah.
The CTA. What do you think of the CTA part?
Oh, that's probably by far the best.
The best part
Yeah,
of the.
no question about that.
So, your most rewarding job, let me rephrase that. Your least rewarding job was the program job. Is that right?
Yeah, the program job itself, I enjoyed the challenge of it and the interaction and working and trying to get programs to be effective. But it was probably the most frustrating job that I worked in because it tended to change from year to year. There was always significant changes. It never stabilized. While I was a program in charge of programs there as a art for programs, but the big problem is that even after I left and become the agronomist and the irrigation specialist, as you watch programs, it never did, it never has, and even to this day, constantly there's something totally new coming on the horizon next year for the way we're going to run our programs. And if you can't get it stable for 2 or 3 years or 4 years, you can never really get good at what you're doing.
So you never got efficient?
Never got efficient, no. The DCs couldn't get efficient in the way they rank and screen. Everything was changing from year to year, so since it was always new, it was always there was always a steep learning curve associated with it.
So that was your least satisfying job. What was your most?
The most enjoyable job I had is probably the one that I'm just now retiring from, and that is to be primarily technically working with staff as far as training and working on the technical aspects of our conservation planning and our various practices from various disciplines, but especially in regards to the agronomy, the irrigation specialty type position. And then, Mike, honestly, the last 2 years working with a focused emphasis on improving soil health began to tie together all that I've been doing up until that time. in a more meaningful way.
That has been fun. I would agree with you there. Oh, better slow down. I'm speeding here a little bit.
You work hard and you take the challenge on to reduce soil erosion, and that's that in itself as a goal is challenging, but it doesn't really settle itself down until you begin to take a look at the overall soil health and what's going to happen in the long term with the biology of the soil and the improvement of the actually the reduction of how erodible that soil is.
Oh, Richard, I think we got the police after us.
Makes a
We'll
lot
see if
more
we can
sense
outrun 'em.
than just working with the amount of residue or the length of unsheltered distance or how much surface roughness you've got as compared to the amount of residue that's present out there. It's a lot more enjoyable and a lot more meaningful to actually be dealing with the health of the biological system. I also enjoyed the being a range conservationist during the stage when the soil surveys were still being accelerated in different areas and being able to take a look at the ecological site descriptions and trying to put those together and doing the field work on trying to get that all figured out, the logic behind the ecology and what's going on. That I enjoyed that too. That was for a number of years that I was a range specialist. Being a district conservationist back in the 70s, early 80s as a DC, that may have been almost the highlight of my career as well. That was a real valuable. I enjoyed that a lot.
Where were you the DC at?
I've been a DC at Salida, and then for 1 year, and then I was a DC at Center at Colorado for about 5 or 6 years. And I think now, as I look back on it, no way would I want to go back now to a DC position because of all of the, primarily because of the program emphasis that we're involved in trying to become program specialists, being more valuable, being more important than even being technical specialists.
So what do you think about Denver, retiring in Denver?
Why would someone do that?
So we've gone over your first two reasons why you're retiring. One is you were working for free, so retirement looked kind of good when the federal pay scales have been frozen, so you've been working for free. The second one, you wanted to go out on a high note, that people still wanted you around, which is happening. What is your third reason?
I don't know. Probably the third reason would be come Monday morning, I don't have to worry about trying to find out whether we've got a staff meeting or not to go to at Alamosa. So I can sleep in on Monday morning and not go to the staff meeting.
Okay, I might have to reevaluate that a little bit. It was too early in the morning to be in Alamosa then.
No, it's just that, you
You got things to do.
got things to do and you start your week with a staff meeting. And that seems a little bureaucratic in a sense.
Okay, well, wow, I didn't know I was going to be part of one of your top 10 reasons of why you're retiring, but there's room for improvement.
And I guess a fourth reason might be it's not as critical, but there's several opportunities of being able to reach out and do a little independent type consulting, either with a local conservation district, water conservation district, or even just as with landowners. And I haven't explored or opened up that possibility too much yet, but that's kind of exciting to me. It's kind of interesting to be able to just open up another short-term career.
So Dick, what's your fifth reason to retire?
I just thought of a fifth reason, just talking to you just a while ago, but one of the reasons that I enjoy retiring is that I no longer have to worry about you telling me that I need to go clean my pickup up.
Oh gosh, another stab.
So,
I did kind of do that a few times, didn't I?
only about twice a year, because about twice a year I actually did clean it up. If I was looking for a sixth reason, it probably would have to do with being able to trade duties and responsibilities. No longer can I play you all by saying my wife's my boss, nor the downside of that is now that I no longer can use you to tell my wife that I've got something else to do. She's got a list.
You don't have that card to play, do you?
No, I don't. She's got a list of honey-dos. She told me the other day she found my drill still stuck in the wall where I started to mount a towel bar 6 years ago.
The hole's still there?
No, the drill's still stuck in the hole. I know one of the reasons that I probably need to retire is that I can't remember the number of all these scenarios that I'm going through. But
Well, what number are you on? 6 or 7?
I think I'm on 6, but I may be on 7. That's what I'm saying. I don't remember.
I think you're on 7.
So that's going to have to be basically, when I climb in a vehicle, I'm not required to actually have to hunt for the seatbelt and get it fastened. So I ran into that just a moment ago. And then number 7 is, when you asked me to write these reasons down, I realized I don't have to keep a diary anymore. I don't have to take notes for Mike.
That's right.
I don't have to take notes for Mike of all the things we've talked about. That brings up number 8, actually. There's a good reason to retire, and that is I won't get a call whenever Mike's hard drive crashes on his laptop. I don't get a request to go back and look up all the things he sent to me that's important and send back to him so he knows what they are.
Well, as long as I'm not greater than 50% of your reasons, I'm going to be okay. But so we got the top 8 so far. Top 8 reasons why Dick Sparks is retiring. Nice.
I'm not sure we've got our math right, but I think this is, we'll call this my 10th reason anyway for retiring. Enjoying retirement is, I don't believe I'll have, when I first started to work for this agency, I was red-headed. I had quite a bit of red hair. And as you can see now, then I think most of my red hair has been given away by gray hair. And at least when I retire, I'll have no more gray hair to have to, no more red hair to lose and replace with gray hair. I might talk to Jay while I'm up here, see if he'd like an Earth Team volunteer.
That's a great idea. Come up here and work 2 weeks. You know what, Dick? You just hit the nail on the head with a sledgehammer.